Guys, I'm gonna start the streaming, okay? I'm gonna give you Rachel's telephone number. All right. See you in a little bit. Just in a little bit. Not right now. I need your phone to send it to Zoom. You know, our video call is gonna be sent to Zoom.
Okay.
All right. We start with the ad. Sa. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, nice. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I just gonna keep an eye on the participants for a second, just in case somebody else is gonna join us. And thank you for joining us tonight. I see that, yeah, we might miss a few people. And yeah, in the meantime, we can just, exchange a couple of words to each other if you want. Good evening, Erica. Good evening, Pamela, Rachel, Giulio, and Becky, and Rachel twice. Rachel is everywhere. I don't know. No, no anymore. Okay, and you can meet them too, right? Did I make you? Let me. I will do it right now so that you can. Perfect. So that I don't get distracted like all the time. All right. So the day after the presidential election, wow! Like I feel excited. Even if I'm not like one of the over 300 million people that vote. But yeah, it's exciting time, like for whatever is gonna come. And I'm sure it's gonna be better than what we've seen this year. And I'm also sure that everybody is looking for a little more of a fresh air these days. Okay, so should we start just so that we do not get too late? Yeah, you all know me in the chat by now. My name is Enzo Tedeschi. I work also as a fine wine specialist for Righteous Imports. We've been doing the Wine Wednesdays for a month now, for 4 weeks. And yeah, we've been tasting for the first month wines of the estate of Il Borro, which is the one that you see now on the screen. And we said a lot during the 4 weeks about the estate, the family behind it, the Ferragamo family, their amazing wines. And also we spoke about the Relais and Chateau and all the other amazing facilities that you can find at Il Borro whenever we're going to be available. We can basically travel again. That's, the biggest obstacle right now. And yeah, like all that we do here is sponsored by Righteous Imports. Righteous Imports is a small family-run wine and liquor importer and Pennsylvania distributor. And yes, of course, we specializing, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understand that we specialize in importing Italian wine to Pennsylvania. It's a family-run wine and liquor importer and Pennsylvania distributor. Family-run, I took an example of a very famous American family. I've just tried to be funny. But yes, you can find us fine dining restaurants and online finewineandgoodspirits.com. And of course, the picture is not the picture of our family. We don't have a boy. So it's, Rachel, you didn't see that coming, did you? You're welcome, you're welcome. And yes, what else we do for you? Okay, let's say, for instance, that you are opening a restaurant or wine bar, and we'll work closely with your staff, chefs, sommeliers, to design and bring the custom wine list, and also train your staff to provide an elegant wine service. Okay. And yeah, we can help you also plan your next event or private dinner, which is something that we love to do, especially myself. I really like to talk a lot. So when I present wine dinners, I really enjoy the atmosphere of it. And another important thing that we will soon do for you, and I've been waiting since Rachel and myself, we started Righteous Imports like the planning in 2000, and it was 17 now that we started to, you know, like put it together. And yeah, one of my biggest dreams for the wine business is surely to, you know, have a French wine list. Like, you will not believe it, but I started the, you know, like, let's say that my love for wines started, you know, by drinking a glass of French wine. And I am Italian. But, you know, in Italy, we are very lucky. We have so much that Mother Nature offers us. And I was spoiled. I was, you know, raised in a family where my mother and dad, they drink a glass of wine at dinner. And I just didn't appreciate it much until I sat around the table with some friends and they started to drop names of, you know, this chateau or that estate or that vineria. And I was like, what? Wines is all good. Like, you know, in Italy, we just make good wine. And that was my, you know, turning point where I started to look into it more closely. And, you know, also I started to love it more and more and more. And Righteous Imports is soon gonna come with a fantastic website where you will find all the important information regarding our activities. And in the meantime, you can find us on the social network platforms. You know, you don't need me to tell you, you know those icons just as good as have. La Selva. La Selva, and Pamela Stella, the brand ambassador, will tell us about this fantastic estate. You know, I selected many of the wines on the Righteous Imports portfolio, and La Selva is one of those wines that, you know, I fell in love with it at the first sight, or maybe at the first sip, I should say. And yes, La Selva is, you know, so, excuse me, Pamela Stella or La Selva will now join us to say hello. I will just try, and I'm not sure if Pamela, I'm trying to contact her by phone, and I can see her on. Here you go. Here you go. Just your camera
Okay.
a little lower so that my picture is not on your face. And let me see. We should be here. And voila. Here with us. Here we go. Here we go, Pamela. And we should be able to hear you too. Can you tell us something, please?
Hi. Hello, ciao. Buonasera a tutti.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear Pamela. Yes?
tutti. Hello,
Yes,
everybody.
tell us something, please. I see the audio is really, yes, now I see. Okay, Pamela, so we can just connect with Zoom.
Okay, so I switch off my phone.
Yes. Pamela, whenever you want. Oh, yes, we can. Yes. Okay, good to know. No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything. Okay. So perfect. So okay, just let's go back to 1 second. Like I want to give you to Pamela Stella of La Selva Winery from Tuscany, and Pamela, whenever you want. How can I ask a question because I always been curious and like I couldn't find this data. How many bottles do you produce of each of the wines available in Pennsylvania of the Morellino, the Sangiovese Bianco, and the Vermentino? Okay, so that makes you a boutique winery at all levels, like, with this such a small production. You do, I know that you do a lot of things, like you were saying. It's not just wine. There are a lot of activities related to farming. And yes, and what, please go ahead. That is amazing. That is amazing. We should, do you export to the United States these products? And tell me something, like, I know that the owner, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Can you tell us again? Egler, that's his last name. Egger. So Mr. Egger, like, Mr. Egger came to Italy in the 70s, and he purchased like land in Tuscany, and he started to produce organic products. Like, how amazing is that? Of course. Of course, it makes perfect sense. Like, just having the products available all the year round, and especially in colder winters, like regions like Pennsylvania, for instance, like we can use some of those products too. But I gotta say that, like, the goodness. That's how I would say it. So, so they are people that they know they know what they're doing pretty well. They know the land. They are you are one big family. Perfect. In pensione, retired, retired. No worries, we got you. That is, it sounds like a paradise. Sounds really like a paradise. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So on my screen, if anybody wants to try the QR code system, like you can uh, connect to the La Selva website and find out more about this fantastic property. And yes, I can't wait to be back in Italy and, Pamela, I can't wait to drink, a few cases of that Morellino there, in the vineyards. Good. Yes, that sounds fantastic to me. And speaking of tasting, like tonight we are going to taste the three wines. We have the Vermentino, the Sangiovese Bianco, and the Morellino di Scansano. Unfortunately, I have to drive after this, and I will not, enjoy drinking with you, but of course I will be tasting. And what do you suggest, Pamela? Which wine should we taste first of the three? Perfect. That is perfect. Okay. And voila. Let me ask you a question, Pamela. How long have you been making this wine for? Like, when did you make the first vintage? Okay. So yeah, I would say that that was really ahead of time compared to other producers that are now getting into the Sangiovese Bianco trend. Yes, fantastic. I have to say that the first thing that catches my attention and that it did the first time I seen a glass of the Sangiovese Bianco was the color. Like he has a very unique color. And now I have the two wines like side by side, the two whites, and I can, I can tell how different it is, from the other white wines color. Like, can you tell us like how long it stays with the skins? So it's instantaneous, pretty much. You must be doing a really, it's an amazing job because like, there is really nothing. Yeah. It's, to retain some more acidity. To keep the temperature controlled or to retain. Yeah. Like I guess 5-6 degrees Celsius, something like that. Like a fridge, like almost. That fantastic. And tell me something else. I'm so curious. I want to ask you so many things about these wines, but we don't have the entire night. And like when we speak about things we like, time flies all the time. So about the nose, can you tell us like a little about the nose notes of this wine, and And do you agree with me that I always smell a little, white peach, like La Pesca Bianca, the white peach, like so amazing. Okay, let's. And what would you drink this wine with? What would you pair it with? Like, you know. White meat, nice, like a nice, like chicken, for instance. Yeah, 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 I see that. I'm cheating, I'm drinking a little bit. Nice, 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 nice. And should we move to the Vermentino? Do you want to tell us a little more about this Vermentino Toscano? Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. This wine, just like for the friends that are like with us tonight, this is the wine that, you know, like in America they call it the seven fishes dinner. Like this is, you know, a perfect pairing for a dinner like that. Like la cena dei sette pesci, la chiamano, sì. And, and then like Pamela, you know, they always ask me like, you know, like if we cook the seven fishes, se cuciniamo i sette pesci. I'm from Napoli, you know, we have that tradition of the Christmas Eve of cooking fish, seafood. But no, we do not do seven dishes. We do not do seven courses. No, 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 no. But yeah, this is a fantastic wine for that occasion, and I, of course, like you know, sipping it on the porch, because of its roundness, I find it even more suitable for winter drinking. Like you know, compared to other white wines, they are more sharp and crisp. Like this one has the crispiness of you know a bright white wine, but he has a roundness to it that you know gives you that impression of like hugging, you know, which you know, winter is a good time for that. And Pamela, one more question about this: does it do any barrique? Does it rest in wood at all? Il Vermentino, yeah. Okay. I guess just to make that sense of roundness that makes me love it so much. Perfect. And yeah, we said for the Vermentino, I think that you said spaghetti a vongole like is a perfect pairing, right? Cool. Great, great, great. Perfect. So, should we now talk of this Morellino di Scansano? Like a fantastic red wine. Here we go. Tell us a little bit about this, Pamela. Okay, which spices dishes? Yeah, I see that. Yeah, hot spices like chili, like piccanti. Piccanti. Okay, so that's how we say it in Italian. Every time that we do Wine Wednesdays, we also have to share like 2-3 words of Italian because, you know, we need to spread the love for our country. So picante is how we call something hot, spicy, and this wine, this Morellino di Scansano, will be a perfect match for your spicy food too. Cool. And cool. So yeah, like we have a lot of information that we were missing regarding La Selva winery. And Pamela, just, you know, like to get to you know you a little more and like to chat a little bit of things related to wine, but not wine itself. Like, you know, you, me, we travel the world, we share our culture through the wine, and you know, how does it feel like, you know, to, whenever we can travel, to travel the world, and, you know, of course when we can, but travel the world to represent your country, your culture, like this magnificent tradition of winemaking. How does it feel? Nice. Nice. Yeah, me too, so much. And another thing that I'm always curious to ask to all my friends and colleagues in the wine industry, like, apart from, of course, the wines of La Selva, which other estates, you know, like you like these days in Italy? There are any other wineries that, you know, that you like? I know this is no, come on, tell me, like, you know, a winery from Austria. Oh, nice. I mean, I understand. No, I understand. I understand. Like, I always like to say that we are a country that has double of the certified grapes than France. You know, people think like, you know, France is surely is really, really, really important for wine, but I once I told this during a tasting, and in Washington, in a store owned by some very nice and greatly knowledgeable French family. And I was there, and we were talking, and they were making jokes about French and Italian winemakers. And I was like, by the way, I just want you to know that French have been buying grapes to make their wines from Italians for a very long time. And they were like, what? And, the French guy that is also a former winemaker, he knew about it. And he was like, yeah, that's actually true. So, yes, like French, important, but Italians, we are the biggest producer of wine in the world, and we have 400 and a few certified grapes. Like the master sommeliers, when they have to get their master certification, they cry when it comes to Italian wines and all the varietals and regions and appellations and so on. So yes, definitely, like unbelievable. But speaking of Italy, speaking of things related to Italy, we were chatting earlier regarding the situation of the pandemic. And can you tell us what is the situation now in Italy? Like, I know that the Prime Minister just spoke, and how did it go? There is no green. There is no green. Yeah. Yeah. Be careful. Like Giulio said, like, be careful. Like, that's a very common thing that Italians say. Like, be careful, be careful, be careful. So they tell him, be careful with the yellow this time. Wow. And how is it going with business? Tuscany is in the yellow area. Okay. Oh, mamma mia. Oh my God, please help us. That's the only thing I can say these days. All right, guys. So, one other thing that I wanted to ask you, Pamela, is regarding the organic, or I don't know if this is an English word, organicity. I'm not sure. But basically, what I'm trying to understand,
No, like I try. My wife is laughing dead on the call. That's Enzo's personal dictionary. But what I'm trying to ask you is if the wines are considered natural wines. In other words, if you filter your wines or not. For no, and that's what we are. Yes, it. Thank you so much, Giulio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We needed some clarification because yeah, it's still like really like in a gray area apparently. Perfect. Okay, so now what I would like to know is if anybody of our guests, or actually, before we do that, let me say goodbye to the social media platforms. Like I'm sure that like when I do this, I'm always by myself. Nobody's watching me. But in case somebody is, ciao, grazie, and I will see you